Hey guys, good to be back. Streaming a little bit. I don't know if I even did one this year already. I think not. But I'm not sure. Maybe you know better than me. I don't know. But there has been lots of work I wasn't able to share because it was client work. I wasn't allowed to show anyone. Then there were projects that I just like worked away without kind of thinking about streaming. Sometimes you just don't feel like it, and you just want to draw away and watch some The Office on the side and not talk on the side. So that's that. Yeah. I just had some technical problems with my iPad. I hope this is working. Now let me quickly check. I hope you hear me good. I hope you like the music is fine because I had to set a couple of things, set up a couple of things once again. So, oh yeah, that looks good. That's the nice iPad screen. Very nice, perfect. So this was kind of somehow the AirPlay connection was not working. And I thought that this might become the shortest stream I've ever done, but looking good. Anand Kuno, first time, yeah, well, welcome. I used to stream really often, very regularly, a while ago, like 2 times a week or so, but it's very irregular now, but glad you made the way in here. Shangler, thanks very much. Happy to see me along the living, yeah. Well, if I wasn't among the living, someone has done lots of art on my name and posted it on my social accounts, so that would have been weird. That's a nice idea, actually. Maybe some kind of, some kind of AI that, I mean, we have the AI copying artists now. Why not make an AI that continues the work of dead artists after they're gone? Maybe a nice idea. Maybe a bit too creepy, I don't know. But I'm not even sure if I wanted that. So, okay, sound is good, perfect. Yeah, OBS had an update, so I had to reset up a couple of things. Cool. So, yeah, well, you can let me know how your work's going. I hope you're having a nice and relaxed Wednesday so far. Mine has been relaxed. I've been working out in the morning a bit. I've been sick for 2 weeks. I had a very nasty cold and some throat pain, something of that, and I'm happy to be able to work out a little bit again this week. And have been doing some organizational stuff, and now I'm looking forward to finally start the drawing session. I'm working on the second piece of the third piece of the Aahi series, which is a slightly cyberpunk-ish, probably near future cyberpunk-ish world, where so far we only know that there's this this Aahi girl who has a car workshop, a custom car workshop, and this was the first artwork, this one here, and that is, now it's playing on my computer. I don't want that. Well, this is the first, let's do it like that. This is the first artwork of the series, where we see her sitting kind of in her office. I intentionally didn't show her like with some cars because I wanted to build the story in a different way, like showing her in a different environment, and not lying under a car with a wrench or something. So that was the first one, and I did that quite a while ago in I think late 2021 or so, I think. And it's yeah, I made this as a kind of standalone artwork. I had the whole idea about what's going on there and what the character is about in my mind already, but yeah, I kind of didn't plan to make a larger series out of this first, and then I thought, like, why not? Because it has been fun working on this. And so I have been doing the floppy desk, showing her kind of her desk in a close-up. So this is kind of a top-down view on her desk with you know, I like details, and there's lots of, like, it's all cluttered and all the stuff, like little messages and little details on the items that you see here. Also, we see her having this BMW in the as her desktop screensaver. Here's like an MK2 as well in the photo. Yeah, and now I want to show her actual workshop, her garage, for the first time. So I made this scribble here. So this is second. This is the scribble I made showing her workshop kind of in the street. Probably she's having her workshop, or probably she's even living there. And I want to show her kind of it's supposed to be a late night, late evening scene. Sorry. So probably she's just like having a late shift. She's obviously a hard worker who's very passionate about her profession, because she's also the person you go to when you want to have like old school custom car modifications. And you know, I like cars from the 80s and from the 90s, so I want to put some models from that era into this artwork. And yeah, well, I want to have like the scene kind of focusing very much on this area where she's like where she's this one here, like this is going to be illuminated in the end, and then we have like the areas here going to be like nicely dark and nightly-ish. So we have a nice glow coming from the garage where she leans against the car, and it's supposed to be kind of calm and have a relaxed mood, you know, despite all the details. So what I'm always trying with my art, or not always but often trying, is to have this extreme high amount of details and still achieving a certain calm and relaxed mood for the artwork. So this is a little bit of a contrast, because usually calm and relaxed and clean is not going so well with so many details, and I'm changing that. So as you see here, I already did some of the outlining, and my friend Jack was so nice to send me 3D models of the cars here. So he put them in the right perspective. I sent him the scribble, and he put the cars in the right perspective, because I wanted the cars to look original. So this one here is Lancia Delta Integrale, Italian, and this one here is the BMW E30, both from the, I think, early 90s. I don't know if the BMW is probably from late 80s actually, this model, but yeah, around that time. So the Lancia is actually the era is probably around the time where my first car I ever had, the Golf, Volkswagen Golf 2 GL, has been built in 91, so this has to be like a similar era. And for the cars, it's quite easy. So I just trace them and add like a couple of things. So I changed the rims. I changed the... oh shit, I just changed the size of my brush and now it's gone. Should have saved that one. So I changed the rims. I made the body a little bit wider. Really just a tiny bit. So it looks... I have to find the right brush size again. That's a bit too small. I know you can save these now in Procreate, but I didn't in this case. Is it actually? Okay, this looks about right. I'm going to save it now. So if you hit that little plus here, it saves the size, so you it prevents you from being an idiot and changing the brush size you're just working with. So yeah, that's it. And for the BMW, I also did like really small changes here on the body work, but not so much. And now I'm just really drawing along the outlines of the garage, and it's looking really technical right now. This is interesting. Like, it always has an interesting appeal to me in this stage of the art process, because it looks extremely technical, very clean, and my task is to make it look more organic in the end, but that comes later. Hey Tony, nice to see you too. Glad to be back streaming after a while. Drawing dungeon. I do like American muscle cars, but there's so many cars I love, you know, and I think the American muscle cars from the 60s probably are a bit more down my line, but for this one here I wanted to rather go for 90s models or cars that were popular and visible in the 90s. So maybe we'll do some American muscle at some point as well. I would love that. And I'm watching this car show right now all the time. Car Masters or so, where they buy old, mostly like old pickups or muscle cars, hot rods and stuff like that is their thing. Maybe you know the show. I don't know. I'm watching it on Netflix, and I love it. It's great. So they kind of, when they pick like an old Camaro and build something really nicely out of it and stuff like that. So I love watching that. But I think it's kind of more mainstream to draw these muscle cars. You know, it's I think it's more unique to have these Japanese 90s, like the Honda Civic, in that. In the Japan Days artwork, I put the Honda Civic. Of course, you could have put like a extremely popular model in there, but I thought, like, why not a Honda Civic? I mean, it's a bit unusual probably, and that's what I maybe like about it. But yeah, the list is extremely long, so one of the cars I also need to draw at some time soon is a Fiat Panda, because when I was in Italy in March, I saw so many old Fiat Panda 4x4 models, and I just really loved them, because somehow I guess in Italy the weather is better, so they are better, like what's the word, preserved, is it right? I think, yeah. So the weather doesn't kill the car as quickly as here in Germany, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's also that the people don't want to spend or are not able to spend money on a new car, and so they drive the old cars to absolute death. so I saw so many in Napoli. I saw so many old Fiat Panda 4x4 cars, and I really loved it. And yeah, I mean, the Lancia is also an Italian car. It's been an absolute rally champion in the 90s. So I think one of the dominating rally cars. Saw a couple of videos from old rallies from back then. It's really a beast. So that's what I really like about it. I put the reference on. Overrated cars. SUVs. I think, like in the current times, maybe everything that is just too huge. I don't like huge cars. So a neighbor, for example, here in the yard here has a Audi Q8 Sportsback, I think, e-tron. That thing is so huge. I don't know why you get such a car when you live in the city. You know, it's all everything is like really not so spacious here. And I'm not really sure why you would want such a car when you have like when you're a couple, 2 people, and you have a little dog, a very, very small one, and no kids. So what do you need the space for? And even if you need space, then to buy a fucking Q8, man. It's that's my opinion. Sorry if someone's listening who has this car. You're an idiot. No, of course not. I like the design. Audi is I like Audi in general, but I think people should pay higher taxes on these cars. To be honest, it's they're taking too much space. So maybe that's overrated. I don't know if that is that overrated. Probably. But I know you guys in the US are a bit different when it comes to space and size of cars, and that's fine. So as always here in this part of the drawing, I just try to add details on the go. So I'm mapping out the most dominant shapes. For example, these windows and the signs here, etc. And then I'll come back later and add some details where I think they should be. Also, I got this nice motorcycle here. I'm not a big motorcycle fan, but I thought that Aahi could have one. Maybe that's her own. Maybe that's her own right. And I took this one is just based on a photo I found on the web from a Cafe Racer, and I thought like a modernized version of a Cafe Racer would be cool. I thought that this would be the type of motorcycle that Aahi could like. For your fragile egos, yeah. Exactly. We have lots of these fragile egos here in Germany as well, so don't you be worried about that. It's I mean, I think probably you guys in the US are a little bit different even, but we have these types here as well who need to drive a Porsche because they think that they're worth more as people if they drive a sports car. I'm really absolutely biased about the whole, or no, I'm indecisive about the whole cars and mobility debate. So I'm definitely on the side that we should decrease individual motorized mobility, you know, and try to go into using like trains more and stuff like that. But yeah, still I'm definitely a car enthusiast. Not an expert by no means, etc. But I just love car design, and I love the manufacturing behind it, and I love motorsports as well. So it's not so easy to make a decision. I think if cars would be forbidden tomorrow, that's something I could live with, because I think, okay, it's for the better, but yeah, it's still would be sad. That said, I'm driving a very old Opel Astra. That is not fancy at all. Really, trust me, not at all. And I don't have any plans to buy some expensive car, or especially not a car that uses a lot of gas or something like that. That wouldn't be that wouldn't feel really like me, to be honest. Hey Luana, cheers to Brazil from Germany. Glad you like the work. Jonah, the new ID Buzz. Is that overrated? or is that your car? I don't like most of the e-cars in terms of design, to be honest. I don't know why they all have to look like, hey, this is this car has an electric motor. Why can't we have like just beautiful normal cars with a different type of power? I don't know why they look like that. For example, I saw some days ago, I saw the Volkswagen Transporter, like the people carrier, the E version, and it looks like a joke, to be honest. It's a catastrophe in my opinion. Maybe some like it this way. I think it's crap. ID Buzz. Let me quickly check it out. Oh, that was the one. Okay, you think it's cool. I'm sorry. I think it looks shit. Oh, that's the one you meant. Okay, yeah, I saw it on the street yesterday, and in this color here, this one, and I thought, like, not this is not my car. I would never want this from a design perspective. Maybe a cool car. It probably, I think it most likely is a really nice car, but not from the looks. That's really, I don't know why. Looks like a toy. Well, maybe maybe I'm a bit old school when it comes to that. Well, but it's nice that we can have different opinions. And please get one if you want. Is it the name of is the name T1? Like, is it supposed to be like the revamp of the T1? Oh, by the way, Aku, hey, sorry, I forgot to say hi. Thanks for coming in. Oh, it's raining so hard again. It's even though it's May already, we have April weather here. Lots of rain. Then it's warm again and sunny. And you think, hey, I could go out for a walk, and you're out 5 minutes and you're wet. Hmm. Yeah, I guess it's probably not much different in Erfurt. Yeah, you can see the T1 in the bus, of course. I mean, that's the resemblance is definitely there. So this part of the drawing here is meant to be like Asahi's office. So I want this to be this room here. So you're kind of looking into the window. She's looking out here. So I don't want to make it make it so that you can immediately see that it's the same room. It's just like a little idea to reference the previous artworks in these here and the new one here, as well as her desk that is on the second artwork is then, and she has a desk here, and here's probably another little workstation. So I want to put that there, so we have these places picked up there. And then the fourth artwork is probably going to be a close-up again. That you can find somewhere here in this artwork, but I didn't decide which place or which element or something. But I want to do a close-up as the fourth artwork again, and release them both as on the same day. And that's the idea. Yeah, we'll see. I always like to put these old school looking monitors in my Cyberpunk artworks. It's kind of gets this retro futuristic style. I don't know why I love these monitors. Maybe because it's where I grow up or where I come from in terms of technology. So the first computers I used were big fat gray boxes with these 30 kilo heavy monitors. So maybe it's a reference to my youth or something, I don't know. But it's also cool contrast between high tech that you see in some of my artworks and these and of course the good old cables. As much as I would like a wireless future, the cables have to be there. Thanks, Luana. Glad you like it. I feel really very much home in this aesthetic. It's something I love to work with because I think it goes very well with my love for details. So I can add these tiny crazy elements and items everywhere. And of course, I mean, certain fascination for futuristic topics and etc. is is nice to have as well. And something I love to do is give things this little fucked up and used and sometimes run down or broken vibe, and that's where Cyberpunk is at home, of course, because you can give things a shabby look and make it futuristic at the same time, which is, for me, is a perfect combination, because you have this crazy contrast. You have this you can work with technology and fantastical ideas as well, so it doesn't have to be realistic all the time. You can go over the top very much. You can go crazy a little bit, and no one would say like, oh, this is unrealistic, because you can say it's Cyberpunk. Everything is allowed. So that's what I really love about it. Even though I also liked my more kind of, I don't know how to say, like the more current art, like the Japan Day series, for example, that has this lo-fi vibe, and has nothing to do with Cyberpunk or the Curious Cabins or so. So that's something I enjoy very much. So in the end, it's just about finding a good balance and not getting bored by your own art, I guess. But I also like artists who just focus on one direction, like only Cyberpunk or only whatever objects or daily life scenes or whatever. So, but for me, it's I need the variety of topics and directions. GM FUD, how's it going? How do you find your theme color as an artist? Oh, that's I think that's, well, one of the parts of finding a style as an artist. So in the end, it's through practice and through like making decisions consciously or subconsciously on the fly. But it's I think it's part of your can be part of your artist branding that is just developing or not developing at some point. So I think it doesn't make sense to influence this, because colors are such a emotional and individual topic that I find it almost impossible to really decide for a color that can be your signature color, because you'd be restricting yourself from using other colors really early on. Just see, I'm a bit gotten a bit dark in here, but that's better. So yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think as it's the same with your style. It just develops over time, and I know that purple is one of my using purple is one of my signature moves, and people recognize my art by the purple color, but it's in the end it's really only a small part of my identity. It's just fun for me to use or play with this for my personal branding. But I wouldn't really think that this is too important because I like to use other colors as well, and I could without a problem change my palette and still have much fun doing my work. Sometimes I have to change my palette because I have certain clients who have who need me to use their colors, etc. So preference, just I think if you draw for a couple of years and you make art and you work away and get better at what you're doing, I think it can definitely happen at some point that you sit down and realize, hey, I somehow started using yellow like hell or green or whatever, and that could be a point where you think like, okay, this could be a part of my personal branding to experiment with this color. But yeah, I think it makes sense to not limit yourself too early or too much. Apart from that, purple is just the best color in the world, obviously. And I should trademark it for me. The one of the creativity for the Curious Cabins project. Yeah, I just sometimes think about that myself, like where I get these ideas, but it's just lots of it is from daily life. So I see a building somewhere, or I see like I'm traveling, and traveling is definitely extremely helpful for the cabins project because I get lots of input when I'm just running around in the city that I don't know. So, for example, being in Napoli in March has been lots of input. I took a couple of photos, but just to like soak up the whole vibe and the architecture, stuff like that is really, really helpful for a project like that. And then, of course, I mean, there's also these weird little details in the cabins. And these, I don't know, it's just, these ideas just come at some points, and I write them down, and it's stuff that you can't really force, but I think everyone has it in them. So every person has it in them to come up with these little weird ideas, because in the end it's just a combination of known elements like the houses, and then you think like what weird stuff could I do with these houses, but you don't have to be mental to come up with these ideas. It's just you just think about like, okay, what could be unusual, what could be a little bit weird, what would people find bewildering in some sort, and yeah, that's probably it. Yo, modular modal, aka serious. Thanks for coming in anyway. I've been on your collab with a poet. Did you see it? It's a really nice piece. I love it. I'm not expecting to win it, but I just wanted to show my appreciation through a little bit. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know where it will land in the end, but we'll see. CryptoMax, hello. Nice to see you. Grey Walsh, yeah, it sounds very familiar to me. Absolutely. So, I'm very happy that I sometimes have like more based kind of commissions, for example, where I think, okay, I can't go like all out of the park with this. I have to stay a little bit on the less crazy side. And then there's the personal project where I try to be more wild at times. I wouldn't say that my art is really wild or so, but you know what I mean, the weird ideas, these whimsical drawings, the overflowing details and stuff like that. But I definitely know how it feels to shift between styles, and for me, I even had like I'm always saying that it's a process that just happens over time. But in my case, I actually once did a very conscious and very specific decision between continuing working with vector art or with hand-drawn art. So a couple of years ago, I did also a lot of vector art, and it sold good, and I think it still sells good because you can go with this corporate kind of style, but you can also be a bit more free, and it's definitely something where you can have your success in the industry. And I think when a couple of years ago I was at this point, I thought like, okay, what is my real passion? Like what do I want to do every day for ideally lots of years? And I didn't want to split myself. So I didn't want to offer like both. I did that for a while, but I didn't want to continue like that because I thought it would be better to really specialize on something and to be the guy who does hand drawings and not the guy who does all of it. And it's difficult. So for a couple of years, I enjoyed being able to offer clients a choice, but in the end, I have to say it paid out to specialize in something. I think I would have my success today if I would do vector art. So I'm pretty sure that I would have been like selling that stuff as well. And it's just that my passion is really more in the field of hand-drawn stuff, like what I'm doing here right now. But yeah, you can be the guy who offers different styles. So it's some of my clients have been really appreciative about this when I told them, hey, you want this style, but I can also offer you this style that maybe would make more sense in terms of production, in terms of your target audience, in terms of usability for the medium you want to display it in, for your brand, like the style of your brand, etc. So they were sometimes happy that I was able to do that. But today I would probably tell them to hire a different artist for this, and that's it. But it's in the end, but still, it's a really a process, and there's nothing wrong in trying or doing this for a couple of years, and keeping your eyes open for new styles to explore, new stuff to try, and I mean that's important always. So I think that's one of the basic abilities you should have as an artist, is to be able to develop and to take new inspiration and new influences and let it flow into your style. And it's never really, the style is never done, you know. And yeah, in terms of how crazy and how normal something like how special and how normal, it's yeah, it's I don't think it's a problem to pursue different ways there, because you have to, if you want to have commercial success. So if you're just doing, I mean, that's the big difference, or that's an important difference, is if you want to do art for a living or if you want to do art as a hobby. If you want to do it as a hobby, it doesn't matter at all. And if you want to do it as a living, I mean, it doesn't matter in terms of just do what you like best and what feels good. But if you do want to earn a living from it, you have to be flexible on some aspects always. There's the clients who just come to you and say you can do what you want and we're good with it. These are quite rare, so it's not very often that this happens, and you have to adapt to the briefing and to the client's needs always. So it's not too bad to be able to make something a bit more crazy, but also make something a bit more I don't want to say boring, but more mainstream. Let's say mainstream. And if it's just personal project, I wouldn't worry really. It's just totally fine. I mean, I'm also doing the Cyberpunk stuff, and I'm doing the cabins, and that's hasn't got so much to do with each other. Fat the dimensions. This one has 6K by 4K pixels. So I'm trying to always have the shortest side of the canvas at around 4K. So you can display it on big screens without a problem, etc. When it comes to print, of course, that's a bit more tricky. 6K pixels are 6K pixels in 300 dpi are 20 inches, right? So you can print it in 20 inches large, which is not super big. So if you want to make a big poster print or so, you need probably a little bit more. But yeah, that's my rule. I mean, Procreate is restricted on the layers, so if you make a really big canvas, it just sucks in terms of layer size, layer count. So I'm trying to find a sweet balance there. I want this to be animated as well, so the maximum layer count here is 32, which is tight for making animations. So I sometimes split the file and take one half of the layers with me into another file, and work on them, and then put them together in Photoshop afterwards. But yeah, for the drawing and the illustration itself, 32 is absolutely sufficient. Paper Legend, hello. Yeah, it's an E30, that's right. I wanted to, after drawing Japanese cars for a while, I wanted to go for some European legends. And we got the E30 and also the Lancia Delta. I'm a bit sad. I mean, I love the Delta from both sides, but got it here. It does have a nice front. I like the lights. I like this grill part on the lower front, and so I had to choose if I wanted to show it with the back looking outside the garage or the front, and I chose the back. But I'm a bit sad that I can't have the nice front in there as well. Maybe I'll just put a poster somewhere that shows an image of it from the front side, and so I just have this sorted out. Yo, Ace, nice to see you, man. Yeah, no, I didn't quit streaming for good or so. It's just that I don't really know. I lost kind of the routine to go live for every now and then, and I also had to do a couple of client projects that I couldn't stream, so I wasn't able to share it live, and yeah, so I lost this routine a little bit. Maybe I wasn't too motivated about streaming as well, to be honest. I don't know, but it's fun, so it's good to be here. That's the most important thing. Andres, if my iPad gave out, the day my iPad breaks down, I walk to a shop and get a new one. So you can be sure about that, because I want to work with Procreate, and that's unfortunately only available on the iPad. No, that's an absolute no-go for me right now to get another tablet, to be honest. I know there's other very powerful ones, but I want to use this software. My whole workflow is kind of fit to using Procreate. So yeah, that's unfortunately I'm a little bound to the iPad through that. I don't really agree to the pricing of the current 2022, I think, is the current model. I don't really agree to the pricing. I think it's especially, I mean, Apple was always expensive on hard disk space, but what they're charging for the terabyte 2022 model is to be honest, is really ridiculous. But yeah, it's a business expense. This one here is the 2021 model, and it's running perfectly fine though, so I don't have any plans to swap it. But we'll see. Maybe they're going to release a new model sometime soon that has nice new features or whatever. But I don't miss anything. The thing is, I wouldn't know what they could improve other than making it more powerful. Of course, I mean that's the obvious part. So I wouldn't complain about more power, so Procreate can have more layers, for example. But it's not such a pain right now. Yeah, the pencil hover, is that really useful? I didn't have a chance to try it so far. Is that some kind of game changer? So I read about it and I thought like, I probably don't need it, but if it's cool, I'm going to get one. No, I mean it's quite the investment. So also, I think I mean I'm getting the question from beginners very regularly if they should get an iPad, and I think it's definitely not a beginner investment, to be honest. If you have the money, I mean, go for it, of course. But who has actually? So who doesn't care about saving a couple €100? And I think as a beginner, you should just really get a cheap Wacom Bamboo or something, and I mean as a total beginner, right? And just draw away in Photoshop or Clip Studio or any free software even. And because like getting that iPad is, I think it puts an unnecessary big pressure on you to instantly start producing high quality stuff. And your possibilities as an artist in the first time when you start learning aren't that big anyway. So it's not that your personal limits are not reaching the limits of the cheap Wacom, for example, you know. Or just get a pencil, a fine liner, and a good old sketchbook. That's how I have been making drawings for years before I went to digital tools. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not a painter, so maybe that's why it's not so interesting to me. Yeah, I mean the 2017 iPad. That's a model you definitely can replace at some point. uh, especially, I guess that the it doesn't have that much power compared to the new models, so you probably only have like 3 layers in Procreate if you work in 4K. Although my old tablet, the one I had before this one was 2018 11-inch, I think, and I was I didn't mind working with the 11-inch for a really long time. Now I have the bigger one, and it's better, definitely better. But I like the flexibility of the 11-inch, so I could sit like on the couch very well, and on the train or whatever. And I found this very nice to have this very small tablet with me. But yeah, now after switching to the large one, I wouldn't go back as well. Anyway, my camera is telling me that something is wrong, but I don't see a problem here in my screen. So yeah. The XP pen tablet, but that's not a mobile one. So I mean, that's for I have the Wacom. I don't know how large it is. I think it's probably also 21-inch, or maybe a bit smaller. I'm not sure. The Wacom, Wacom Cintiq, yes. And I like to work on a large screen on my desk sometimes, so I like the feeling of it. But yeah, it definitely uses some space. You have to find a good solution to put it away so it doesn't like stand in your way all the time when you work on your desk and you don't need to use it. Otherwise, it will become very, very annoying, I think. Yeah. So the scene is slowly filling up. This just really takes a lot of time. I don't know. I don't have any time calculation or limit what this may take, but I think only the outline drawing will definitely be like 10 to 14 hours probably. It's really a lot, a big scene, lots of stuff happening. So, but I'm giving myself this time. I'm fine with just the drawing, like taking as much time as it needs. At some point I will get impatient, so that's when I know, okay, it's probably time to finish it soon. But before that, I'll just go with the flow. So did you, Andres, did you get a replacement? So did you get something else, smaller one? Or are you tablet-less now? Yeah, reading ebooks. I don't do that with my iPad, to be honest. I don't have any comparison there, but... So what I actually have is that when I sit on the couch, for example, sometimes I'm sitting back there on the... on my... This is kind of my TV and gaming chair. So, I mean, I have a living room here with my wife, but this is my Stefan place. I do have my TV and the PlayStation here for gaming, so I don't we don't have to fight over the TV. And sometimes I'm sitting there watching a series or whatever, and watching some football and drawing. And when I have the iPad in my hands and draw like this, you know, or have it on my knees or kind of in my lap, it's that my hands get numb after a while. And I didn't have that with the smaller one. I think it's because the new one has a much higher weight. So I think the weight difference is definitely quite significant. And that's what annoys me a little bit, because I love to work this way, but after 1 or 2 hours is like, I mean, 2 hours is the absolute max I can work like that, and before I have to go back to the desk and put the iPad in the stand here. By the way, there's some garden workers outside, and they're shredding something. I don't know if you can hear that through the mic. I don't think you should be able to hear it, but if you can, like if there's some weird noises coming through the mic, please let me know, and I'll close the window. Doesn't disturb me too much, but I don't know if you can hear it. So yeah, let me know. Okay, very good. Thanks. Yeah, maybe it's better for the couch. Yeah, I guess so, but I mean, you could of course get a second iPad for the couch, but honestly, I think that's a bit too much. These things are a bit too expensive to get one just for going over there to work. There's lots of nice screens in this artwork. I can put some funny Easter eggs on, so we'll see what I come up with. But having these screens, it's always very, very nice for me to hide little messages and some puns or the names of my Patreons, as I did in the crypto kiosk artwork, where a couple of my Patreons showed up on the screen. I'm not sure if the commands still work, to be honest. I didn't check on them in quite a while. It's typical. My setup's a mess. I guess no message showed up, right? Let me quickly check. Huh, should work. That's weird. Why doesn't it do its work? Huh. I could... Well, here you go with the brushes, Eugene. Weird. Guten Abend. Ideas. Well, yeah, that's on many different ways actually. I think so. Inspiration for me, inspiration comes from lots of sources, which is consuming lots of other media. For example, reading comics, watching movies, watching like going to a museum and looking at artworks, etc. So that's one source. But I also like to say that daily life is also big source for me. So not what I experience myself, but of course what I also see on the web or what I find like on Pinterest, etc. Like scenes from daily life is what really fascinates me a lot. So I try to take much inspiration from that, to be honest. And then, yeah, well, the turning them into artworks is, of course, just a process of bringing together these impressions you get from everywhere with your own art style and with your personal way of handling visual, like how you personally represent visual input and output. So that's really very individual, but I think it's once you, so I never felt it difficult to come up with ideas, to be honest, but because I think you just have to open up the newspaper and read about what's going on and what's like maybe for example the science part always interests me very much. I'm always reading that, and ideas for artworks and like visual concepts come to my mind very quickly. But it's not a talent, it's something that you can just, I think you can just train it actually. Wouldn't call it a talent. I have a YouTube video about a little bit. Well, it's about the white paper syndrome. So sitting in front of white paper and you don't know what to draw. Just a second. This one here. So this might be interesting. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the line art process, and I will color it once the lines are finished. So I'm always really finishing all the lines first, and then when that's done, I'm going to head over to coloring it. And also animating, most likely. I don't know yet what I want to do. That's one of the things I don't plan. So I'm planning ahead in a quite detailed way. So I have the scribble that I stick to very much. So I don't really change lots of things in the scribble. But animation is something I just decide about on the go. So of course it needs to, some elements would need to be put on different layers, etc. So I need to plan ahead a little bit, but so far I don't really know what I want to animate in this piece. So maybe some lights flickering, that's my classic move. So the neon lights here flickering a little bit or so, but also maybe something else, we'll see. Yeah, glad you like it. Oh, nice. Good to hear that you're still using the brushes Ace. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to do. Is or a good way to work with them is definitely changing them so they fit your workflow best. I do that with other brushes I work with that I don't made myself. So now I really only use my own brushes, to be honest. So I don't use lots of other brushes from other creators. Sometimes I do, but not so much anymore. And I think it's great to just modify them so that they fit your needs. Makes sense. Yeah, I thought about a 24-hour dynamic thing. So I thought about a not so complicated solution where the light changes once or twice a day. So when the sun goes up, it goes like daylight mode, and then when the sun goes down, it switches instantly to night mode. I had the idea for the Train Red Tuesday piece, but yeah, well, 24-hour light change would be interesting. It's a lot of work because the question is, how do you handle the shadows, right? It's a matter of if you want the shadows to move with the light, which they in a realistic world they would do that. But the question is if you really want to do that in your artwork, because it means lots of work. You could probably do a 24-hour, really 24 pieces, so it changes every hour. I could imagine something like that. But even that means like at least drawing the shadows at night. Could be you could skip that because there's no changing light source if you don't make the shadows according to the moon position. But yeah, sounds like a project. Sounds like something I would definitely love to do, but sounds like lots of work as well, and I would need help to code that, so that there's any kind of code that lets the light change, because 24-hour animation is a big video file. Yeah, but it's a good idea. I would love to make some dynamic pieces anyway at some point, so it's definitely something to consider in the future. Thanks a lot, Saga. Much appreciated. And yeah, Eugene, I'm using After Effects. I do very small parts of the animation sometimes in Procreate directly. When I need frame by frame animation, so small parts of the animations maybe Procreate, but I would say probably maximum 5 to 10% of what you see in the animation. Yeah, and I'm putting that together in After Effects afterwards anyway. So, slowly filling. As you see, I'm wandering over the artwork all the time and looking for... I mean, there's obviously lots to do, but I'm always trying to pick like my next little mini project here that I want to care about. And I think I want to do this desk here. The thing with this one is it's too low. Where am I now? It's a bit too low. So I'm going to change that in the scribble already. So it has to go like somewhere like here. Maybe. Oh, that's quite high. Somewhere in the middle. Like that. And I'm going to check if there's a weird overlay, of course. To create the right depth in the artwork, it's important to have these overlaying elements. So, for example, you have the car. You have the car here. That is in the front. Then you have these cables and this door here and the screens. Then I will have this desk here that will go over the BMW a little bit. That is important to make this understandable for the viewer, that there is a perspective and that there's a certain depth in this scene. But of course you don't want to hide too many important objects. So that's the tricky part. And, I think this will be fine. So this will kind of slightly go over the tire of the BMW here, but it will not hide it completely. Yeah, that's right. If there are ways to make this easier. So like some conceptual tricks, I guess. Making the light come from a window. But I don't know if it's coming from a window. I'm just asking if the effect is really nice then, because this 24-hour thing is probably most impressive when there's the sun going up and down, you know. So there's kind of the day coming and going. I guess that would probably make the scene interesting. But yeah, it's something to think about, like how to still make it interesting and not having to change the shadows. Well, there is the point where I very much envy the 3D artists who are able to set a dynamic light and they're just done. That's something I would love. But then again, the magic of handmade art, like hand-drawn art. I mean, 3D art is handmade as well, of course, but the hand-drawn stuff is that you always have to, you're always dealing with imperfection and with aspects of how to make something look right, but it obviously isn't realistic, and you don't want it to be. It's also a question of art style. I mean, I talked about that before. And one part of an art style is also how you deal with realism and how you manage that people understand what's going on, but also like certain interpretation of reality in your art that is never hyper realistic if you're not by chance a hyper realistic artist. Which to be honest, that's really I don't want to art shame or something. But I never understood hyper realistic art, to be honest. I don't know what the point is. We have photography since a couple years now, so I'm not really sure why people draw or paint hyper realistically. But I don't want to say that it's stupid or bad or so. It's just my personal opinion that I don't understand why people build this skill, you know. This canvas, the canvas size is 6K by 4K pixels, so it's important for me that once the small side is 4K, so it's usable on big screens, and also you can print it in a not too small size, but that's what I'm looking at. Something about the perspective of this was off. I think now it's better. Little cola can. I even invited an own brand for the soda. I have here. That's something I also really love to do. Is so here I have this Octo Cola brand. I wanted to have it blink as well. Ah, there. So there's this Octo Cola. And then I have this one here, where we again see the cans from like the same brand, and of course it will be here. I thought probably making another neon sign, but maybe something else. We'll see. But that's something I like to do somehow. It's fun to me to invent some weird fantasy brands for my artworks. And it's practical because you don't have any IP struggles, because like I know some brands are not so funny when it comes to using their names or their logos in artworks. Yo, Dominic. Are you trolling, sir? I'm using Randy Marsh. The good old Randy Marsh. In this case, I don't have any 3D base, so this is really only 2D scribbles and some Midjourney. I made some Midjourney references for inspiration. And if I do 3D, like I did it once so far, that's the artwork you saw before with the screen, the close-up desk. I use Blender for that. But that was the first time I used any 3D software to build a reference. My favorite football player? Who is that? Randy? Is Randy a football player? I know that Randy is a American football fan of the Denver Broncos, like everyone in South Park. Ah, Walter! Ja. Ja, sicher, Walter. How could I forget? Shame. Dominik, ich habe gesehen, dass ihr eben einen netten Plausch hattet. Ich habe es leider verpasst. Schon lange keinen VC mehr gehabt. So I have one little issue, and I'm I should have seen this beforehand, but I think how the lamp is just over the wheel here is looking weird. So I think I may have to go back and do this again. Was ist passiert? Ich habe gesehen, dass ihr einen Plausch hattet eben im Voice-Chat. Eugene, it's really... I don't have a schedule or something, so I used to stream more often. Now it's more occasional. Whenever I have a nice project that I can show, and so I can't tell when the next stream will be. Maybe we will do a coloring stream of this one. So when I'm done with the outlines, I'm not going to stream for much longer now. But when I'm done with the outlines for this one and go for coloring, I can see myself streaming again, maybe in sometime in the next week or so. If you want to stay up to date, maybe come to my Discord or follow me on Instagram. I'm always announcing new streams over there. Oh, mechanical keyboards. Well, then I didn't miss anything, to be honest. I like keyboards, but I'm not into that rabbit hole so much. It's really very nerdy sometimes. I just need something that works. Jacques also wants me to convince to build my own keyboard at some point, but I don't know. I just want to buy something and I want to do work, and that's it, to be honest. I'm really lazy when it comes to this stuff. Yo, Sirius is back. Nice. Glad you like it. Yeah, it's a grind, actually. It's really one of those artworks where you gotta put in the hours to make it work, because it's a bigger scene and all the details, etc. But yeah, it's so I planned this like that, so I'm not surprised that it is a grind. And actually I like the grind, because I was feeling a little like I lost like my motivation to draw a little bit after I took a break, and I have this every time I take a break, and it's I know it and it's fine, so it's not some kind of critical situation or something. It has been last year when I was on vacation, and it's just normal, and I really needed the break. And so I think making this one here is perfect, because I can just put lots of hours in the outlines and just draw away, and it's a personal project as well, so I don't need to worry about any kind of input from clients. Of course, it's supposed to be good, because it's supposed to be like minted as a part of the Aahi series, so I have a certain like I wanted to have a certain quality, obviously, but yeah, that's definitely a good thing to work on now. Yeah, composition is there's lots of stuff going on for sure. Thing is, I for the lighting and the coloring and I even want to keep it quite clean, I think. So it will be a night scene. That means there will be the light source coming from the garage, and then the surrounding areas will be quite dark and quite unicolored, which is a bit funny, because yeah, all the details I'm drawing now in the areas here, like around here and here, will be very much in the dark later on. But I like these drawings where you make out just like you when you walk around at night, and you kind of make out details in the shadows, and I like that very much, and I want this for this artwork a little bit. This kind of thing. Let's see if it works. I'm not such an expert when it comes to night coloring, but I guess I can use some purple in there, and then it will be fine. Yeah, this one will be the one of one, and then there will be an edition being dropped parallelly. So the idea is I have and this is the series on Exchange, and the idea is to have kind of part 3 and 4 similar to this one here. So I have part 1 that is a scene, then I have part 2 that is more a detail shot, even though it's very detailed in itself, but it's kind of a close up to a scene. Then I have number 3 again, which will be the scene here, bigger scene as a one of one. And then I will have the number 4, again a close-up as an edition, and the plan is to have the edition as an airdrop for the holders of the season pass, the floppy disk. I also thought about making it discounted, so making it, for example, another 25, and you have a pre-sale and then for a discount. But I think I will go for a larger edition, like maybe 50 or so, 50 probably the max, and airdrop it to the 25 season pass holders, and the other 25 will be on sale for, I don't know, a relatively low price, I guess. So that's the plan. By the way, are you coming to Lisbon now? Is it decided, or are you still indecisive? Because Ben also reached out to me, and he and Elsa are considering coming as well, I think. And he reached out to me, asking me. I think he wanted to just hear if it would be worth coming, and obviously my answer is, get your ass over here. So what else should I say? But oh, you're all booked. Nice. That's great. Cool. I really look forward to meet you and of course lots of other guys. But would be really cool to finally have a drink, man. It's nice. From 6th, yeah, I'm also coming on 6th and leaving on 11th. Sharing a place with a jerk called Dominic. I don't know if he's still here and if I can gossip. Did you meet Ben before and Elsa? Bruder, da ist er. Bruder, ich bin am Lästern. Ah, nice. A book? Yeah, I would love to make a book. It's I had some plans to make a book as well, but they were never fulfilled or realized or whatever because I'm missing the time and other projects kind of interfered with these plans. But yeah, I would love to, only for like I think at one point I will definitely make a book. I don't know what it will be with, like what it will be about and what the content and everything will be like, but I will just do it for the flex of having made a book, so I can say I have made a book. But yeah, it's definitely something on my bucket list, kind of. And I don't know if it will be kind of a more of a learning focus or just art. We'll see. I also wanted to make a coloring book at some point, but that was actually quite in the planning. So maybe my most planned book project that almost made it to a real book, but then again I had no time. On the terrace. Yeah, if you want to drink sangria from a bucket, Dominic, you probably should go to Mallorca, actually. I think Mallorca could be your destination. I'm not sure if they have sangria from a bucket in Lisbon. Well, appreciate it, Eugene. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, maybe I like... there's also some publishers who do these artist editions where they just have art books and like show the process of artists a little bit. I could imagine doing something like that as well. I think, for example, 3D Total does it, and they even have one or two of them here. And they have these Kickstarter projects, and they also always look quite well. Maybe I should reach out to them and ask them if they want to make a project. Yeah, Kickstarter is a nice idea for starting such a project, for sure. Yeah, it's really. I mean, I could just take the time and just do it, but of course, you don't know how successful such a project is in terms of sales, and then you have other requests for client projects that where you know, okay, this is going to pay me some money no matter what, and that's always like been my kind of choice of like okay, I'd rather just take the guaranteed commission money and don't put it at risk for making a book, probably. I think it's a matter of mindset. Other people just do it all the time and they have their success, or they don't. But if they don't have their success, you just try again, and kind of, I think, can be still be quite successful by doing so. But maybe my mindset is a little bit different there. All right, I think I'm going to take a break, drink a nice Club Mate, and continue this one later or tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have to do a little logo for a project. I should probably sit down and do that finally, because I'm pushing that away from me a bit in the last days. So I'll probably do that after the break. We'll see. Yeah, well, was good streaming again. Finally, after I don't know how long. And I'm saying thanks for watching. Yeah, Saint Ursa, thanks for lurking and coming in to say thanks. Glad you liked it. I'm going to try to be live again for the coloring process of this one here. Can't make any promises. I don't want to make any promises, but we'll see. I'll keep it in mind maybe next week or so, depending how fast I can make moves with this. But I think I want to have the outlines finished until end of the week sometime. Yeah, I'll keep you updated on Instagram, Discord, and hope you will have a nice rest of the week. And see you soon. Bye-bye.